Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're doing really well. Today we've got two new fragrances to talk about, two upcoming releases. Usually on This Week in Fragrance I would talk about a whole bunch of different releases that are coming up. You have 5, 6, 7, but today just two. We've got one new release from Giorgio Armani, one new release from Yves Saint Laurent. Each one of these is a new flanker, and I've talked about this in the past, but it really seems like 2020 was the year of the Eau De Parfum Flanker. We saw tons of releases that were just Eau De Parfum versions of fragrances that were already out, Eau De Parfum Flankers. It looks like that might be carrying over into 2021 too. Like I said, two new flankers to talk about, one from Armani Code, one from Yves Saint Laurent. Why? Let's jump into it. I want to give a quick shout out to one of my subscribers that was kind of helping me out put this video together. You know who you are, shout outs. So, two more new flankers, and each one of these is a huge line, so I know a whole bunch of you out there are going to be super pumped for these. I can tell you each one of these flankers that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to buy as soon as possible. I've got note breakdowns for each one of these, I've got descriptions for each one of these, so let's get started. First up, the new Armani Code. No, it's not Absolute, and no, it's not a Code Absolute flanker, but when you see the bottle, it will make sense as to why I'm showing you this one, because it looks like essentially the opposite of this bottle. It's like Bizarro Code Absolute. It's got a champagne colored top and then a black bottle. Personally, I think it looks really good, and I think it's gonna look really great put right up next to this one here. It's Armani Code Eau De Parfum. It's gonna come in 30, 60, and 110 milliliter sizes. This one right here is 60 mils. So it's gonna come in that same presentation that everybody is accustomed to. There's a lot of information from Giorgio Armani on this fragrance. Let me go ahead and get started with their write-up. And hopefully this isn't lost in translation too much, because this is translated into English. So there's a possibility that some of this is gonna sound a little bit unnatural to native English speakers, but hopefully you understand everything super clearly. Discover the new Armani Code Eau De Parfum, an oriental woody fragrance that evokes the mood of a new, intense, but effortless seduction. The tonka bean characteristic of Armani Code makes the scent even more intense. The fragrances by Armani Code exude an atmosphere of elegant seduction, inspired by the man who attracts with innate magnetism, who seduces without provocation and combines authenticity with a very kind lightness. Just really quickly, if you seduce without provocation, that could be illegal depending on what we're talking about. So, the new Oriental Woody Armani Code Eau De Parfum conjures up an intense but effortless kind of seduction. Every iconic facet of the Armani Code fragrance note is intensified in the new Armani Code Eau De Parfum. At the same time, an elegant but intense sensuality is exuded. The citrus and aromatic top and middle notes in the Armani Code Eau De Parfum are enriched with lemon and lavender in order to be fresher, more concise, and colorful. A new sensuality unfolds in the base, physical, attractive, and mysteriously powerful, thanks to the Torrified Tonka bean and the addition of vanilla, natural cedar, and a suede accord. Armani Code Eau De Parfum, a new sensuality for irresistible skin. So there's the general write-up for Armani Code Eau De Parfum, and yes, in case anybody's curious, I have verified each one of these fragrances are completely 100% legit. They are already on sale in Europe. It's just information is kind of slow to get over to the US sometimes. So with this fragrance, they were really emphasizing the citric top note. It says that the scent unfolds with a luminous, tangy top note of mandarin orange and bergamot, enlivened by a splash of lemon essence, the latter giving the scent a citrus nuance. I don't know that lemon is really necessary to give a citrus nuance when bergamot and mandarin are already citrus, but I think what they're trying to say is that it's got more of that citric punch than some of the previous codes did. So there's your top, mandarin orange, bergamot, and lemon. Citrus across the board. I'm not saying those are the only notes, but those are the only notes that they've highlighted so far in the write-up for the fragrance. And then in the mid, they highlight that it has rosemary and lavender. More specifically, they say lavender. Depending on where you look, it says lavender or lavender, not exactly the same thing, but it has either lavender or lavender. I'm assuming because of the write-up that it is actually lavender. And then in the base, they're really emphasizing this Torrified Tonka. And in case you don't know what that is, it's essentially roasted Tonka. So the note in the base that they're really kind of putting forward and pushing is this roast tonka bean note. They say it results in a richer, more sensual and unique addictive facet in the fragrance, giving it this nice warmth. So roast tonka is going to be in the base. There's also cedar in there, musk, and vanilla. And then as well, the suede accord that they mention in the write-up. So some of these notes are being carried over from Code Absolute and previous codes. I'm really looking forward to it personally. For sure, I'm going to buy it. I love the Code line, especially, of course, this one right here. So I've got really, really, really high hopes for this one. And then about the bottle, they basically just say that the bottle is characterized by the same purity of the lines that you're going to find across the entire Armani Code collection. To underline the impressive statement of this fragrance, the iconic glossy black bottle is decorated with an elegant golden cap and golden lettering. And in the tradition of the Armani Code bottles, a structured grain detail on the neck of the bottle is reminiscent of the classically refined design of the cummerbund of a tuxedo, which is this right here. That's what they're talking about. So there's the first huge release that's going to be coming out hopefully soon stateside. It did just drop in Europe. And the next one is Yves Saint Laurent Y Le Parfum. So we have already Yves Saint Laurent Y Eau De Parfum, this one right here, but now we have Le Parfum. And this is something that Yves Saint Laurent has done in the past as well. If you look at their La Nuit de l'Homme line, they've got La Nuit de l'Homme Eau De Parfum, they have La Nuit de l'Homme Le Parfum. This is something YSL is known for. This one's gonna come in 60 and 100 milliliter size bottles. And I gotta tell you, I think the bottle on this one looks really slick. I really, really like it. So the bottle of Le Parfum is really blacked out, looks great, sexy, mysterious. And then the Y is a little bit darker as well. It's kind of grayed out a bit. And I think it's just a really nice look. There is not as much information as far as the write-up goes for this one, but I'll go ahead and give you what I've got. Y Le Parfum is an intense version of Y's iconic signature. The absolute strength of a dark fougere, more powerful and more engaging than ever. A perfume that reveals a soft freshness, pure elegance. A fragrance in which vibrant French lavender meets the strength of cedarwood, two noble ingredients, selected exclusively for YSL. This olfactory declaration of courage is underlined by the freshness of the iconic geranium and the deep and captivating background of patchouli. I'll go ahead and run through the note breakdown for you guys here as well. It has a top of grapefruit, apple, ginger, and aldehydes, a mid of sage, lavender, and geranium, and then a base of cedar, olibanum, tonka, and patchouli. And one other thing that I noticed about this fragrance when I was looking at the ingredients, not the notes, but the ingredients, is that beeswax was one of the ingredients, which is kind of interesting. Beeswax used in perfumery can give a sweet smell, a honeyed smell, but sometimes also a smell that's kind of hay-like, depending on how it's used. So I thought that was interesting that beeswax is in the fragrance, in the ingredients, but not in the notes. Of course, they could be using that kind of in collaboration with the coumarin or the tonka in the base of the fragrance. That's what I would anticipate, but just be aware that there is apparently also beeswax in here. I don't mean for you to take that though and think that there's 100% definitely some sort of honeyed accord in here. I've not smelled it, obviously, so I can't say. I'm just letting you know that I saw that in the ingredients. So each one of these obviously is going to be highly sought after, highly anticipated. Which one are you most excited for? I'm gonna hold up these, but use your imagination. Are you gonna be more excited for Armani Code Eau De Parfum or Yves Saint Laurent Y Le Parfum? Which one of the two are you most amped for? And which one of the two do you think is going to be more of a success? Again, we've got Eau De Parfum, Le Parfum, Parfum Flankers coming at us once more, this time from two huge designer lines. One thing that I know for sure is that the people that love just mass appealing, super easy to wear, versatile fragrances that pull compliments cannot wait for these releases. YSL Eau De Parfum, one of my most complimented fragrances of all time, and so is Code Absolute for that matter. And it sounds like these are gonna be taking those DNAs and twisting it, changing it a little bit. So I would imagine each one of these is going to be just as much of a hit as far as those factors go as the fragrances they're coming after. So Eau De Parfum to Le Parfum, yeah. And I think you're gonna see a lot of talk about Le Parfum. Same with Code Eau De Parfum. So let me know which one, Code or Y, are you looking forward to more? For me, I don't know if I can pick one. I'm gonna buy both immediately. Eau De Parfum is a fantastic, versatile, compliment pulling fragrance that you can use almost anywhere, and Code Absolute is one of my favorite designer releases over the past 5 years. You best believe, as soon as I can, I'm gonna get my hands on each one of the new releases and tell you guys how good they are, hopefully, and not tell you how bad they are, because that would be a disappointment. Yeah, already had one of those this year. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.